Yeah, hello everybody. My name's Tim Lee. I'm director and founder of Collaborate MK, and this is one of a series of interviews for members of Collaborate MK that have the gold membership option. So and today I'm in conversation with Emma Rundle, who's founder of Melting Pot Creations. So hi Emma, great to see you.
Hi Tim, thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So where did it all begin? Where did your career start, and what led you to forming Melting Pot Creations?
So I started, as many of us do, in the corporate world. I was responsible for internal communications, so staff communications, magazines, newsletters and conferencing and things like that. Went on to eventually manage the whole of the kind of marketing communications function. So got a really good understanding of how messaging fits with, business strategy as a whole. And then went freelance. It's 11 years this year, so 2014 I decided to go it alone, and it was another kind of probably common story. Young kids, realising that I was selling my soul to travel to work every day and back and put them in nursery. So I took the plunge and have never looked back, and I'm now firmly unemployable. So yes, it's 11 years I've been running Melting Pot, doing copywriting for service businesses. Yeah.
Brilliant. No, I love that word, unemployable. We do get to the point when you run your own business, how can it happen? It just can't. So I'm totally with you on that one. So what sort of services do you offer at Melting Pot?
So we have two kind of like packages, if you like, and we, can do any of the component parts individually. But the best sort of outcomes for people come when they can really get sort of, lots of regular content. So the two packages are the Content Kitchen, which is the sort of higher ticket, but literally throw all your content needs over the fence to us and we'll get on with them and create regular flexible content delivery. So this is about looking at where you want your business to get to, let's say in 5 years. How can content help you to get there? So it's a part of that delivery of that strategy really is, what's your messaging, who's your ideal client. So in that package we would deliver anything from LinkedIn posts, blogs to website copy and the strategy itself. So we'll help with creating a content strategy. So it's a really kind of all-encompassing service. And that's sort of an ongoing retainer. And then the other end of the spectrum is a self-service platform called the Content Canteen. There's a bit of a food theme. Yeah. The Content Canteen is where people buy a membership and then they go into an online portal. And what we've basically done is I've broken down my entire delivery and created kind of videos and templates and downloads and brainstorming exercises and whatever it is that you need to do your own content creation. So you would work your way through each module, different module every month, a little bit of email accountability built in, and then basically it's a self-serve. You just work your way through and create your own content, but you're upskilling as well. So you're not just kind of downloading a lead magnet as you might have done many times. You're actually getting some instruction and some guidance. So that's the Content Canteen. And then in between that we sort of take on website projects to write website content, and we do blogs for people regularly and stuff like that. So yeah.
Marvellous. That's pretty comprehensive to say the least. I like that. I like the way you've got two tier sort of package as well. That's terrific.
Exactly.
So yeah. Marvellous. So what is a typical day for you?
Well, luckily for me, it varies quite a lot because I do have a range of different projects always on the go. So I've got several quite long-standing clients actually who do the regular kind of packages with me, and they'll want different content each month. So I'll be following a storyline, I guess, for them because we're kind of building up their content. But then in any given month, week or day, I might have a website to write. So often it's like any business owner, it's juggling the back office stuff with the client delivery. I have 2 or 3 writers who work with me and sort of flex in and out as the workload requires really. So a little bit of chatting to them, and all my client regular clients have a monthly briefing session, so it could be some time on Teams or Zoom doing that. And I use time blocking. A massive top tip for any business owner would be time blocking, because where I write, I have to be obviously uninterrupted for that period if I'm writing something big particularly. So I go through my diary at the beginning of each week and block in what deliverables I've got, and then try and stick to that as closely as I can. And the nice thing about doing that is if you do slip, and we obviously everything does slide from time to time, you can pick that block up and move it, and you're not losing, you've not forgotten to do that task, or you've not run out of time. You can move it to sort of the next week. So that's how I kind of stay on top of a big kind of range of different deliverables for different clients.
Like that. It's just a good logical thing to do, and especially in your world where you need that time to concentrate. You cannot otherwise you won't get there, will you? Because you're interrupted by a notification there and an email there.
Exactly.
Need that time. That does often go through my mind. In my world, it's very much a little bit here, a little bit there, a bit of planning.
And I think these days everything's so noisy. We're all a bit like that. We get magpie, don't we? We kind of flit about for what's the next shiny thing. So trying to avoid that as much as possible. Yeah.
I like that expression as well. But no, I'm terrible for a notification goes straight there. You just have to. I don't know. It's just the way things are. So marvelous. Thank you. So, what sort of challenges do you face in your business?
I think the most obvious one for anyone in any kind of marketing linked profession is the economy and sort of the fortunes of clients' businesses, really. And I think it's a very natural reaction to see marketing as a nice to have, and it's often the first thing that's cut when budgets are tight. So that over the years has been you can kind of you get that sort of ebb and flow. It is interesting though that clients that stay with me and outside of my business, businesses that lean in difficult times do tend to thrive. And so it's for me, it's therefore about trying to find a nice spread of clients who are a mixture of very small and sort of slightly larger businesses, so that perhaps they've got a more committed marketing budget. So that means that we're not going to switch off that tap sort of thing halfway through the year, or because again, like anybody, we add the most value when we can work consistently over a period of time, because you get to know the business, you get to know the client, and you start to build everything from emails to blogs, and everything starts to knit together. So it's trying to get to a point where you can be that consistent support. I think is something that I'm always kind of looking for, really. And I guess AI may be a bit of a challenge at the moment. It's starting actually already to come full circle, I think, with people realizing that for anything that they really, really value and want to stand out from the crowd, they need to do it with a human. They need to create a kind of more empathetic content than AI will churn out. But certainly nibbled at the kind of lower level work that I might have once done, because people with very small or no budget are gonna try for that as a sort of free option. But I don't think it's certainly not on the kind of more the higher value and the value add work. It's not really impacting on that. So
Brilliant. No, thank you. And so what's your main goal for the business?
Well, I did some work actually last year on a sort of the next 10 years. So really it's about focusing. So I've done this now for quite some time. I know who I write well for. I know the people that kind of their email comes back from a blog saying, I love it, no changes and things like that. It's all very rewarding when that happens. So it's to grow a highly targeted, kind of quite boutique content agency, really. And it's about then focusing on, what I call the people focused service businesses. So that's anything that's around people's behaviours, development, leadership. So it's coaching, it's HR, it's recruitment, it's some of the consultancies who even if they're doing process engineering, they're actually impacting people ultimately, in the way that people behave and the way that people interact. So it's all those sorts of topics I want to really focus in on, a niche. And just really being very centered around quality and authenticity. So I think there's a lot of noise out there these days. There's a lot of, big statements and shock tactics used in content. We don't really go down that road. We're very much more creative. We're all about bringing out the human from behind the brand. Love just really showcasing the business, our client's business. So that's the sort of the sweet spot. That's the aim.
Yeah, nice. That's terrific. Well, thank you so much, Emma. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Pleasure. Yeah, pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. And look forward to seeing you at the next event.